Okay, everybody, it is Friday, and we are doing a special live edition of the College Football Focus podcast. Not really a podcast, more of a reaction to the NCAA's ruling on the Michigan in-person scouting fiasco, I guess you can call it. The NCAA has ruled, and as a lot of people expected in the last week or so, I think the tide sort of changed. People expected that there was not going to be a postseason ban. There was not going to be any vacating of victories. Michigan gets a $20 million fine, and Jim Harbaugh gets a 10-year show cause. Connor Stallions gets an 8-year show cause. So you got to think that Jim Harbaugh's coaching days in college are done, which maybe he's fine with that. He did leave on top with a national championship. But what the NCAA, in its ruling of no postseason ban, said that it wanted to work as much as possible to not affect current student athletes who may be, I guess, face the fallout from people who are no longer at the school. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Sharon Moore still at the school? He is the head coach. Now, he's getting an additional game suspension next year, 2026. But they detailed in their ruling that he had deleted multiple texts, I think upward of 50, um, during the entire time from Stallions and from other people. And he is still on staff. So not everybody is gone. I get what the NCAA is saying. And I've always thought bowl bans are kind of silly for the reason that they said. However, if you're going to do that, and if you're not going to vacate wins, then what do you tell programs like Ohio State and Penn State and USC, who all in the last 20, 25 years have received punishments for things that did not affect at all the goings on the football field? Ohio State obviously got in trouble partly because Jim Tressel lied to the NCAA, but largely because players sold their own items to get tattoos. Penn State, of course, was the Jerry Sandusky, a horrific Jerry Sandusky fallout from what he did. And USC, of course, was Reggie Bush getting payments. So none of those things really affected the outcome of games. Yet what Michigan did affect the outcome of games. So what this is going to tell programs going forward, unless the NCAA abolishes the in-person scouting rule, which I guess it could. I mean, does it really give that much of an advantage? Some coaches think it does. Some coaches think it doesn't. With the technology that you have these days, it's so easy to do. They did it, obviously, to level the playing field because some of the lower end schools would not be able to send people to games. So they wanted to, I guess, in terms of fairness, just not let anybody do it rather than let the people who had the money do it. So I get why they did it. Probably an antiquated rule, but it is a rule nonetheless. And Michigan violated it and basically gets a slap on the wrist. Now, one thing that you do need to kind of keep in mind, Michigan's athletic department was running with a deficit last year, somewhere probably over $25 million. So if you take away, if you add another 20 million that needs to be a deficit, that's kind of punitive. And I was always thought that the monetary way is the best because schools do not like to lose money. Athletic departments do not like to lose money. Why do you think so many? Why so many schools want to go to bowl games? Even at 6-6, they get money from the bowls, and that goes into their athletic department coffers. They also have to pay their athletes with the $20.5 million that has been allotted. So you wonder if Michigan is going to have any problems with any of this because they are operating at a shortfall. So I think that that's going to be interesting, especially in the first year of the revenue sharing. Michigan is already kind of behind the eight ball. It should, I guess, be noted that prior to 2021, Michigan was largely a 9-3, 8-4 program. Harbaugh did, of course, make some assistant coaching changes. He changed his recruiting philosophy, and that helped some. But to say that this didn't help at all, I think would be naive. So the 3 years that this was going on were the three best years in recent Michigan history. They stopped doing it last year. They go 7-5. So I guess you can be the judge of whether this was sufficient, whether reputation, which Michigan's reputation will definitely take a hit for everyone outside of the state of Michigan. And it's probably worth it to them because they did win a national championship, and most fan bases will say whatever you have to do to win a national championship is uh, is fine. So if reputation is something that is important, then there's probably going to be a lot of people in college football who no longer look at Michigan the same way anymore. While the fan base in that state up north, as we like to call it, will be perfectly content to revel in its 2023 season, undefeated, winning a national championship. But I think this again sends a bad message. NCAA sends a bad message that you basically there are not going to be any real major repercussions for breaking rules. So schools down the line, if you guys run afoul of any NCAA rules, just remember you're probably not, outside of maybe being hit in the pocketbook, you're probably not going to be hit with anything very hard, since the NCAA has sort of drawn its line in the sand with today's ruling. So again, monetary fine, additional game suspension for Sharon Moore, and show cause penalties for Jim Harbaugh and Connor Stallions. What do you think? Do you think the punishment fit the crime, or do you think that there should have been more? You can comment, and I will see you again on Monday with the podcast.